Here we are with another alcohol marker practice. I've already done some basic blending practice as well as some leaves and flowers. I've got my 2 color swatches here ready for referencing and my sheet protecting ready to go underneath my worksheet. Remember, you can find these worksheets in the link in the description if you want to print them yourself. So for this first hairstyle, I wanted to try a blonde hairstyle. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll select the colors and just kind of go for it. But then I changed my mind, decided to find a hair reference. This reference I picked is a little bit more of a silvery type of blonde. So I still start with a warm gray base, which is what you see here. So it's got a slight yellow tinge to it. And then I jump in with kind of a grayed out brown as starting to get those shadows in there. But then what brings it to the silvery part is using cooler grays to kind of just add a little bit more depth and interest to the shadows. Now at this stage I was like, ooh, this is not turning out super well. I don't know what I could have done slightly differently. I think maybe I went too intense with those first shadows, but I think I just got to remember, trust the process, keep going, because it eventually gets there. It gets to where I want. Obviously, this is my first time trying to do hair, so it's not going to be perfect, but it definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I do feel like I do better on this other side after I've had a little bit of practice, so I decided on this section to go in smaller pieces rather than doing like the whole side at once. And then I accidentally used a dark color there. I thought it was my light warm gray, but it was like that slightly browner one, but it's all right in the end, not a huge deal. So I kind of follow the same process, start with the warm gray and then jump with the browns and then go in with the cooler grays and finish off with some blending and then just finishing touches with some darker gray. So overall, I am pretty happy with this blonde hair. I do feel like I could use it in a finished product if I wanted. Now with this next hairstyle, my phone actually decided to stop recording mid drawing and deleted the recording. So you can see how I started half of it and I was not happy with how I did that first half. I think I tried to do it all at once and I didn't leave any white areas for those true highlights. So this second half, I am trying to go a little bit more section by section, you can tell. And think a little bit more about where the shadows would be. This was the reference I was using off to the side here. So I wanted to do like a kind of natural-ish redhead style. So like I said, the left side was a little bit of a struggle, a little bit too like chunkied out. Overall, I think I really struggled with this one because I wasn't patient with my drawing. I was trying to go too fast and just like get it done. And I think that is gonna be my downfall. If I try to rush through an artwork, it's not gonna turn out super well. So I gotta practice, okay, take it slow, go piece by piece. It's okay, you know, don't feel like I have to finish it in a short amount of time. So here I started with a really light brown base. I think it was actually, in fact, the warm gray base, and then moved in with a golden yellow type color, and then with a marigold orangish color, and then the darker shadows are more of a true brown. So here again, I think my struggle was mostly with the blending and fading. So like this wouldn't be bad if I'm going for a really cartoony look, but it definitely didn't get the realistic look I wanted. And then here you could see I'm grabbing my white Premier Prismacolor pencil and trying to draw in some hairs and just seeing if that makes it feel a little bit more realistic. I do feel that it does. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I could have used even different colors of colored pencils, but I can tell, okay, if this is something I wanted to spend more time on, it could fix that section if it needed to. For this next section, I wanted to have a little more fun with it, so I picked some brighter colors for this hairstyle, so I found this reference. And again, I think I really struggled with this one because of the shape of the hair. I myself have naturally curly hair, but I've always struggled with drawing it to make it look realistic. So the colors I felt like we're okay. It's the sectioning off that I struggled mostly with this part. Especially right here in this next section you're about to see, it just feels like a little bit stripy in the end. I do feel like I maybe should have selected one more color to go in between the pink and the purple, which is actually what you'll see that I do later. But I mean, trial and error, right? It's okay to have something that you're not super happy with, because I definitely learned from this. I learned that I need to probably find a better reference of the hair to see where the shadows are, to see the direction of the hair, because I was just kind of winging it, just more playing with the color rather than the shape of the hair. Again, I grabbed my white Prismacolor pencil just to see what it would do, and definitely makes it get pulled into a more realistic sphere when I do that part. Now, I do think I got a little bit better on the second half, still not super happy with it, but I did decide to pull in a really light lavender purple to put into those pinks, so it was a little less of a stark contrast between the pink and the next lightest purple that I was using on the right side. So got a little bit better, but still not super happy with it. If I try to do this style of hair, the super curly hair again, I think I'd need to really study some references so that I can be a little more successful in finding the shapes. All right, this next one, I decided to tackle some dreadlocks. I've always been interested in dreadlocks. So for this, I actually start with a lighter brown, darker brown, and then I have a purple for the dark shadows. I did not want to select black because black tends to just wash things out, and it's not as interesting as choosing a color for your shadows. So I tried one method here of starting with the lightest, then the darkest, and then the midtones, and then going over with the colorless blender. I ended up not doing that again, but I went over it again with that brown, darker brown, to get more of the texture of the dreads, and that's kind of the method that I'll do over and over again. I use a little bit of the purple as well to get a little bit more shadows there. But that's what I'll do over and over again, but I'll just change the method of the base layer. I sometimes just start with filling in the whole thing like you see here, and then doing the shadows over the top, but I felt like I found my groove. So I actually love this hairstyle the most. I felt it was most successful. You can see in the bottom right, I did test the white pencil on this case, and it just is what pushed it to be that more realistic look that I wanted. I was careful to draw the white pencil in the contours of the dreadlocks. So there you go. I really like this one, and I like the blonde hair one. Not a huge fan of the other two, but hey, you live and you learn. There you go. So here's my finished hair practice. The next video, I'm gonna tackle some eyes and lips, so stay tuned for that one.